something a little bit different. A few months ago, a couple of blokes emailed in and they asked, what would you buy if you wanted to do some luxury wine tours, luxury airport transports, etc., etc. And I had a bit of a think. And I came up with a couple of really good ideas, like Toyota Granvia. So let's have a look at Granvia in detail. It comes in two models, the base model and this one, the top of the range VX for $75,000 and some change. For that you get a few little luxury inclusions inside, but they all basically look the same. And they are, in fact, a Hiace with chairs. There you go, it's a commercial van that's been dolled up to make it look a little bit nicer inside. They all look a little bit strange at the front. Let me show you side on. It's basically a fridge with an orange crate stuck to the front of it. Oh well, that is the hand we're dealt, so that's what we have to deal with. 17-inch alloys on this VX, and this one comes in funeral black. Now imagine a couple of blackout windows on it, and I think it looks actually quite nice. You've seen those Mercedes Sprinters and so forth going around the airports, and they transport very important people. Those very important people are going to expect a few accessories, so with the key in my pocket, I can walk up to Granvia and I can open the door, mirrors fold out, etc. Locking it, you just push the button on the handle and it locks again. But look at this. Ta-da! Now you can see inside there's an absolute mountain of room. Now if I wanted to, what I could do is push this seat back even further like the one next door is. It's got 6 seats in all, and all of them are these kind of bucket seats. They call these ones captain seats. And just here, there's a little button to electrically lower the ottoman. So you could then sit with your feet on the carpet. And if I want to shut the door, I just touch the handle and it shuts. Of course, it does sound like a truck backing up, but all of the side windows have these really neat privacy screens. Because there's a door on both sides, you can just walk straight through if you wanted to. So the space is just extraordinary. There are little touches of wood all over the place, and the wood was felled from the north side of a mountain in a Japanese laboratory. No, it is all fake. Inside there are some natty lights here in the back, and there are air conditioning vents for all passengers. VX can have the option of a 4th row of seats for the back, but it does mean that everyone has to move their seats forward. The rails on the floor go all the way to the back of the car, and it means you can put all of these seats anywhere you want them. In this 6-seat version of the VX, the 3rd row and the 2nd row both have these electric ottomans, so everyone can sit there, provided that they're not too tall, and have their footrests extended for a long journey north. Every row has cup holders and access to USB outlets, so everybody can have a little tablet to watch something on their long journey. Although the 2 side doors are electric, the back door is manual, and it's enormous and it's incredibly heavy. And once it swings up, you can see that the seat is not quite as far back as it can go, but it only leaves about half a metre here. I've got the other one set a little further back so that you can see that there's almost a metre space. And with the seat set like that, everyone still has quite enough legroom for a long journey. Closing the back door, you have to kind of pull on this tab. Believe me, you need it if you're short. And you push the door shut, like so. It does have one of those electric soft close things, so it kind of pulls itself shut at the last minute. There's more than a touch of Hilux about this. Not just in the fact that the engine, the 2.8 litre engine, is the same one that's in the Hilux, so pretty reliable, 130 kilowatts, which is quite a lot. Remember, this is a big old bus. It's 5.3 metres long, manual handbrake, and it is 2,600 kilos and some change. That's a lot of weight. Now you'll notice that this gear shifter is up on the dash, Tarago style, and there's a whole festoon of buttons, including this rather natty feature, which we've shown you before, so I won't go into too much detail, but I've got this currently in automatic mode, so every time I stop, you get the top-down 360-degree camera view, plus a view at the front. Now, if you're reversing, it calls into action a different camera, which brings up still the 360-degree view, but the reversing camera. And there's two separate cameras at the back, which I think is rather amazing. But because Toyota's done a lot of work recently, you've got a bunch of safety gear that is in this and most other Toyotas. The ride is fairly firm. And unlike the Hiace on which this is based, Granvia has a lot of noise deadening. You can still hear that motor when you put your foot down. So that engine is putting the power to the rear wheels through a 6-speed automatic transmission. But one thing I like about Granvia is it is unbelievably easy to drive. Yes, it's 5.3 meters long, as I said, but it doesn't feel like a truck. Well, not much like a truck anyway. You can see that I'm sitting up fairly high, and the instruments in front of me, again, standard Toyota, as is the steering wheel and all of its controls. Everything is within easy reach, despite the fact that I'm sitting a long way up, and the sound system is excellent. As you can see from the front, we've got Apple CarPlay. Hurrah! Toyota's finally dragged itself into the 21st century. For a long time, we've been told that brands' proprietary systems were the bee's knees, but they are not. They just are not. The materials generally are not too bad. There's a nice bit of stitching. This is all fairly soft, but this, although it looks soft, is quite hard. Around town, Granvia handles quite well. Again, yes, it's big, but if you allow plenty of turning circle, it's got quite a long wheelbase, you get around fairly sharp corners. That's the annoying thing. I don't know if you heard that, but the satellite navigation system has warning built into it for red light cameras. It drives me to distraction. Absolutely drives me to distraction. On the highway, some of the extra safety gear kicks in. You've got other little niceties too. You've got automatic lights and you've got automatic wipers. Along with the electric doors, of course, the front windows are electric and they've got an anti-pinch, so if you stick your fingers in the top, they won't get pinched. Along with the other safety gear, Granvia will also recognise speed limits, although it's got this a little bit wrong. We're supposed to be doing 80 on this freeway, but it's telling me that I've got to do 70. Oh no, it's just changed to 80. I'll turn the cruise control on for you. On the driver's dial, it's showing me that it's set at 71, so let's just increase that to 80. So now that's increased to 80. So Granvia will just follow the other cars. And you can change the distance to the car in front with a button on the steering wheel. Now that person pulled out in front of me just then, and Granvia saw it and put the anchors on reasonably firmly. I had my foot hovering just in case, as I always do when I use active cruise control. Don't completely trust it. So to round up, Granvia is extremely good at what it does. The market is dominated in this segment, as I said, by the Kia. So it's not as pretty as the Kia, and it certainly doesn't drive as well. But it can take one more person with that extra row of seats. The Kia will go to a maximum of 7. And of course, this is much bigger than the Kia, so we'll take more people and more luggage. Other than that, it's set up like any other car, apart from the fact that the dash is vast. That's it for Toyota Granvia. It's horses for courses. If you want to cart a lot of people around, you can do it like this in style and comfort. It's not bad on the road. I quite like it, and if I was still rating cars, I'd give it actually quite a good rating. As always, leave a comment below, hit the like button, but also don't forget just there to subscribe.